Saro. I'm a dog trainer, also coach dog owners. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you want to become an educated dog lover and have a healthy and happy, well-behaved dog, consider subscribing to the channel and hit the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I post any new videos or when I go live. Welcome to the live show. And today I wanted to do the show, the live show on in my office. I have a little bit more control over things, and I'm not getting distracted by dogs and things are happening out there. Um, and also, I can share screen. I can use the technology to help me to get my points across as well. So let me get things going, and we'll get started pretty soon to answer your questions. I am here available to answer your dog related questions. And just a reminder that all the proceeds from the super chat goes to my favorite dog rescue society called A Voice for Paws, which is a local rescue organization. Actually, I just adopted my new puppy from this rescue society. So I'm very proud to be part of them, part of their group, and also be able to help them, and also them doing a great job and helping our community. Um, and they are wonderful people, wonderful dog lovers, and I would love to help them. And let's get started and help them by whatever donation that you can provide today uh, using the super chat. All the proceeds will go to them because they are great society, rescue society, and I really love to help them. And as I said, if you have any dog related questions, uh, put the question in the chat area and we'll get started in a minute. And I will get to all your questions. And today, I wanted to use this technology and share my screen with you and talk about a few things. One of the things that I have um, noticed lately is that many dog owners, many dog trainers, they talk about, what is it that I don't, you recommend me not to use treats to train dogs? What happens to when I use treats to train dogs? What's the problem? The problem is that many dog owners, they're not dog trainers. I think the problem and the the confusion begins when we talk about regular people and dog trainers. My goal is to help you to become an educated dog lover using what works. As a dog trainer, I can use treats, I can use hundreds of tools to get results because I am dedicated to this industry, to this passion of mine. This is something that I want to do, and I have focused on for many years to learn and understand what dog training is and what works and what doesn't work. And I know for sure that treats work, but what happens is it's a good tool to use when you are a dog trainer. A regular person cannot be using this tool as a great source of training tool. It becomes very confusing for dog owners when they use treats and tools like treats, especially. So one of the things that I wanted to share, and I'll see if I can get this going later on, um, is, for example, I don't know if you are aware of the channel Zach George. If you are aware of, or if you know Zach George, leave a comment in the chat area. Let me know if you know Zach George. He is one of those trainers that he's using treats all the time. And even though he's a trainer, he's a professional, so-called professional dog trainer, he is using it the wrong way. Even dog trainers are using the treats the wrong way. I wanted to see if I could share that screen with you and give you an example of what I mean. Let me see if I can figure that out. But in general, what happens? Even the dog trainers are not able to use treats the proper way. Um, Imagine a regular person, a normal dog owner, when uses treats. They actually use the treats even the worst in a worse way. Uh, it's not that I'm against treats. I give treats to my dogs, for fun. But the problem is when you use treats as the main source of training your dog and teaching your dog to do something. You know, um, I mean, there are many other things that you can use to train your dog. Obviously, many trainers will tell you that. I suggest you to use play or praise or both of them to train your dog. And the problem is that these are more natural forms of reward for our dogs. And science, right? For example, science has told us, so-called told us that dogs learn by being rewarded. But science didn't tell us that treats is the reward. The reward doesn't have to be treats, as so-called, as from science point of view, because what happens when the science hasn't even touched that part. So yes, dogs like rewards, but rewards doesn't have to be treats. Uh, Treats is something that manufacturers, food companies, pet product companies, dog related pet product companies are marketing it as the training tool. That's a good marketing option um, for companies to make money and to get you into that mindset that yes, this is what I need and this is what I have to use. And when they do that, you feel that your only option and only tool and only way to train your dog is using treats, which is not true, which is not right. Yes, treats could be one of the tools that you could use to train your dog, but it's not the only tool that you should depend on and you should be using. But I would suggest you not even use treats. There are many, many reasons why I suggest you not to use treats, and I've talked about it in my channel. But first of all, it makes you to depend on treats. Second of all, makes your dog to depend on treats. Third of all, it causes health issues to develop in your dog when you overfeed and overuse treats. And also, science recently has learned and figured out. Also, we haven't, just to give you an understanding, we don't study dogs as much as we need to. We still don't know what dogs think and how they work. We have some ideas, some opinions, but we don't really know exactly how it works. We don't even know how humans work. You know what I mean? How human brain or human thoughts or human behavior works. We are still studying humans. We haven't even got to study dogs yet. But we have some ideas of what works with dogs and what doesn't work. And new studies have shown that you could the dog when it gets excited to when they get treats or whatever, it's not that they get excited or they listen to the treat because you offer the treat is to the hand. The person who gives to the treat to the dog is the part that they get excited about. It's not for the treats, it's not for the food. And this is very important for you to understand and very important for you to realize that your dog is not happy because you're giving it treats and you're getting results because your dog is getting treats. It's because of you. You are the hand that gives that treat, and dogs are very human attached, very human. Um, they are bred for humans and they are very connected to humans. That's why we breed them. That's why we have this option of having a dog in our lives, because we we have made them to become what they are today, right? Because we want them to be attached to us, and they are feeling the same way. We love them because of who they are, and they love us because of what we are, not because we feed them, not because we give them treats. And this is very important to understand. And I will talk about this concept and this idea a lot more, maybe in this video if there's time, and maybe in future videos as well, or whenever I go live. So I just wanted to share this part with you and give you this understanding of what really happens when we talk about dogs and treat training. Treat training is not a healthy option, and you shouldn't be using it as a main form and main source of training your dog. You should be the main source of the reward for your dog. So let's get started on answering some questions. And I see there are a couple of questions. Let me get started answering these, and um, we'll talk about dog training without the use of treats in future. So we have John Crom. Welcome, John. Thank you for being here. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I post a new video or if I go live. And your question is, my 1-year-old beagle. Thank you for having a beagle. Beagles are awesome dogs. I have 2 of them now. Um, will not stop barking unless he is in the same room as you. What can I do to relieve his behavior? So I've talked about this topic a lot on my channel, and barking is one of the problems that many dog owners deal with. But when it comes to certain breeds and certain dogs, including beagles, uh, they are designed to bark. So they're barky dogs overall. Hound dogs usually they are barky dogs. The reason for that is because we have, again, as humans, we have bred them, designed them to bark actually. And the reason we wanted them to bark is because we want them to alert us of where the prey is, where the hunt is happening. Where the when the hunters are hunting certain animals, the prey is. So they want them to go and uh, alert us where it is. So they have to be barking. So barking is something that is normal and is natural in certain breeds, but it doesn't mean that you can't manage and control the barking. It is possible. It takes a little bit of time and work to control and manage the barking. And some of the things that you have to understand is that barking also is a communication, right? So they are letting, for example, they're letting us where the prey is. But also in this case, for example, in your case, your beagle won't stop barking unless you're in the same room. So if your beagle is telling you that there's something wrong and there's something bothering it, something is stressing it, something is uncomfortable. So probably being detached from you and not being separated from you is causing that stress. So from what your question is telling me and from what I get is a little bit of problem of separation anxiety. So your beagle is going through this anxiety of being separated from you. So the way you can address this is by teaching your beagle that it is okay to be separated from me. You know, it's not a it's not a nightmare. It's not an end of the world when you are separated from me. And the way you can do that is by teaching your beagle. So I hope I'm making sense. Um, the way you teach it is you start with the basic obedience. You start teaching your the beagle that this is sit and this is stay. Um, and then once your beagle, for example, learns stay, then you teach it the wait command. Uh, the reason for that is you want to do that is because you want to first teach the basics and then teach your beagle stay. Stay is a command that your dog is learning to tolerate you being away from it, maybe 10 feet, 20 feet, 15, 25 feet, 40 feet, right? But you're always in your dog's view, so your dog can see you. So this teaches the dog to start tolerating your absence, not to be right by you, with a distance, slowly. And once your once your beagle learns this, then you can teach your beagle the wait command, which is you're not present in the same room, you're not visible to your dog. So you have to teach these step by step. And I teach those and I show you how to teach that. I'm going to share a video that is a two-part video. Part one, I teach you how to teach the stay command. And the second video, it teaches you how to teach the wait command. Uh, and in your case, it's a barking problem, right? But I'm writing it as barking solution, but it's basically separation anxiety solution. Okay, so think of it that way. So I'm gonna share a link of a video in the chat right now. John, can you go and watch that? That's part one of the video that you're gonna start watching and learning how to teach your beagle to stay, and then watch part two, which the link is available in that video. And Harvey, no. Harvey, no. Harvey wants to come and join me in the office, but I get distracted when there is a dog in here. Uh, then watch part two, where I teach you how to teach your beagle the wait command. And after that, you should practice this for, I would say, a month or two, and then you're going to see that the barking not only is going to be reduced, but also your beagle is going to be able to tolerate your absence. That's the main key here, main key of understanding that your beagle is stressing and getting anxious because of your absence. I hope that makes sense. Let me know, John, if it makes sense, and if you have any follow-up questions, I will help you with those as well. Let's go to next question. Thank you, John, for the question. We have Kat in the chat area and watching our video. Thank you for being here, Kat. It's very nice to see you, and I believe I've seen you before in the chat area. It looks familiar. And thank you for being here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon as well. So let me answer your question. Hi, Saro. Hello, Kat. Thank you for being here. I rescued a dog that sheds a lot. I want to bathe him regularly to help with the shedding, but he hates baths. How can I get him to come around and be okay with them? So there is two things that are happening. One is shedding, one is bath, right? The shedding, it won't be solved by giving bath. The shedding is something that is natural. Dogs go through the shedding, a few times a year as the weather or the temperatures change. Um, and unfortunately, these days, because of global warming, and I hope you know that global warming is real and it's happening. Because of global warming, the temperature of our seasons is very unbalanced now. So, for example, we are in winter here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. We are in winter season, but today is a balmy, hot, warm, 5, 6, or 8 Celsius, yeah, and it's warm. It's not cold, right? But a week before, about 2 weeks ago, it was minus 10 or something like that. Uh, so my dog didn't shed last week, but this week is shedding like crazy. That's because they shed to balance out their body temperature. So you will see your dog is going to shed throughout the year as the temperatures actually change. If they go all hot and cold, your dog is going to shed more or less, or won't shed at all, or will shed like crazy. So shedding is something that is natural. It will happen. All you have to do regarding shedding, all you have to do is get a shedding brush. My favorite is called Furminator. Um, it's called Furminator. Let me see if I can get the picture and the writing, proper writing, so you can get it. I don't know if you have it or not. I think that's what it's called, Furminator. It's a great tool. You use this brush and you will just literally get rid of all those undercoats as well as the top coats, but the coats that are dead. Um, Let me see. Share screen. I'm going to share screen and you can see it, what I mean by Furminator. So this is the product that I highly suggest to use. It's coming. There we go. It's called Furminator. They come in different sizes and styles, but get the one that is ideal for your dog's size, and just brush your dog all the time. I would suggest um, brushing every day if possible. If not possible, every few days, as much as you can. Just brush your dog. Um, Let me see if I can add. And the second part of your question about how to get your dog, to get used to shower, um, or getting bathed, one of the things that I want you to focus on is that um, rescue dogs, especially if you have a rescue dog, I want you to be really careful about what you do, because once you do it the wrong way, once you screw up, that's it. You're done. That dog is going to hate the bath experience all the time, and it's going to be a nightmare to wash it and bath it and uh, do all the fun good stuff, and then you're not going to be able to ever wash this dog. So every move that you're making, everything that you're doing, you need to make it count. You need to make sure that you're doing it properly. So one of the things that I would suggest is, for example, um, start by introducing the bath itself. Um, Hold on, there's something happening. Um, Introduce the bath itself. You could take your dog to bath, the pet stores that offer bath, or you can use it at home. You can just put your dog in a bath. You don't have to wash it. Maybe for a few days, just put your dog in a bath and just stand there 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and bring it out, get it out. And then after a few days, you open the water a little bit and then close it and then take your dog out. Just take one step at a time, one small step at a time, and introduce the experience of bath. And then after, let's say, a couple of weeks or so, what you could do is you could actually bath your dog, and that's the key. You have to take slow steps, small steps before you actually bait your dog. So also, um, I have a video that actually show you how I wash my own dog. My dog hates the bath too. So here's what I do. I show it in the video. So there's a video in the chat area that I share. Kat, if you could go ahead and watch and see how I do it, and then we'll go from there. If you have any other questions, let me know as well. But in general, that's the step that you need to take. You need to, first of all, understand that it's natural for the dogs to shed, and second of all, the shedding, the bath won't solve the shedding issue. All you have to do is just brush and introduce the bath to your rescue dogs very slowly. I think there is a couple of follow-ups. Let me see. I know global warming is real. I'm in Texas, and my dog is a Pyrenees, so she sheds all the time. I have been using the Furminator rake and undercoat brush every day since I got him, but it's still bad. Yes, it is. Sometimes it just goes on for a few weeks. Don't be surprised that the shedding goes on for a few weeks. I had to bait him a couple of days after I rescued him, and it went horribly. I hope he isn't scared for life. I hope so too. That's why I hope you pause now and next time introduce the bath gently and slowly, and just go easy, because once we do it and we screw up, that's it. It becomes a nightmare, and we can't undo it anymore. It will become harder to undo it. So hopefully those helps. And Kat, thank you for being here, and feel free to ask any other questions that you have. Let's go to Kathy. Thank you for being here, Kathy. And if you are a new member of this channel, please feel free to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I go live or post my next video. Kathy is asking, my dog would not get a treat from the vet's hand, but he did from mine. I thought that was interesting, and you have made me realize that he trusts me more than the vet. That is a very interesting point that you bring it up, Kathy. This is one of the things, science, again, kind of says, yes, you have to reward the dog, but science didn't say to reward the dog with treats. It's just the manufacturers and companies came up with this idea of, let's use this opportunity and sell treats to dogs. And one of the things that you have to remember, and you actually witnessed it, so your dog was traumatized from the vet, right? And a traumatized would not eat, would not accept food. So that shows and proves to us that treats are not ideal tool to train a dog. If a dog is shut down, traumatized, anxious, stressed, would not accept treats or food, is it not only they shut down because they panic, um, but also it tells us and proves to us that treats and food is not the real tool to use to train a dog. A traumatized dog looks for someone or something to bond and attach itself and focus on, uh, which would be either the owner or the person or the another dog or another animal that the dog has bonded with. So, so the food and treats, it proves to us that is not the real solution to train dogs. You are the best reward for your dog. If your dog trusts you 100%, not 99%, but 100%. I just released a video yesterday. Yeah, I talked about it. If a dog trusts you 100%, not 99%, they will trust to do whatever you ask them to do, whatever you encourage them to do. So if your dog trusts you 100% and you say, this man, this vet is okay, that dog is going to follow what you tell it, and it will trust that human. But if a dog doesn't trust you 100%, they won't trust anybody. If you can't be that great example for your dog to trust you and be attached to you in a way that they feel you are everything and you are the one who can guide them to relaxation and peace and quiet, they will stress themselves, they will detach themselves from whether if it's a food or a human or another thing or a person or a dog or an animal. So it's very interesting that you brought that up, Kathy. Thank you for sharing that. Um, so what I would suggest is, instead of taking your dog to the vet, let me give you a solution for your case. What I would suggest to do is, if you take your dog to the vet and your dog is feeling anxious to that point that is not taking treats from the vet, don't involve treats, first of all. Second of all, um, take your dog to the vet for no reason. Just, you don't have to make an appointment or anything. Just drop by the vet clinic. If they are decent vets, they will allow you to do this. Just drop by at the vet and let your dog get comfortable, and for no reason the dog goes there, has a great experience there. That's what I did with my puppy. I just took it to the vet, and she had a great experience there. And the staff gave her treats. That's the time that you give treat. That's the time you use treats. Not for training, but this is to give the dog that opportunity, that it associates with this environment that is actually very stressful environment, is that I get treats, and it's a good positive experience for the puppy or the dog. But uh, when you're training at home, for instance, that's not a stressful environment. That's not an environment that makes your dog or puppy to become anxious. So you don't have to use treats. You can use you can use yourself, you can use your play and praise reward system to encourage and give your dog the reward that it needs, right? The play and praise could be the 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 reward for your dog. So hopefully that makes sense. And thank you, Kathy, for bringing that up. Mariam G, my GS, I think German Shepherd dog is so aggressive. What can I do? I've talked about aggression before, and this is something that I think I can talk for hours about this topic. Um, but that's the thing. It's something that I can talk about it. I would suggest you to watch some of my videos that I've talked about the aggression and how to solve it. Um, but in general, aggression of a dog, in my opinion, it's a sign of a dog who's stressed, who's anxious, right? Um, Hold on, I think my dog is not on this side. Harvey, come on. Okay, I'm back. All right. So aggression is a sign of a dog who's stressed and anxious. Harvey, come over here. Let me show you guys Harvey. Let me see if I can show Harvey. There he is. He's joining the live session. Where was I? There. Okay. I think that was where it was. Or my day off. Okay, I'll fix this. Okay, let's get back to the answer to aggression. Um, so, aggression is a sign of a dog who's anxious, who's stressed, who's not happy. He wants to go there now. All I do is serve my dog. uh, Isn't that what we do? We serve our dog. Sorry, lots of distractions. That's what happens when you live and work with dogs. So let's continue. So aggression is a sign of a dog who's stressed. Something is causing your dog to get stressed or anxious. And there are many reasons that can cause a dog to get stressed or anxious. So if a dog is aggressive, now I need more details, but this is general talk talk about aggression. If your dog is aggressive towards people, dogs, objects, and maybe even a man with hat or man with um, sticks or things like that, if a dog gets aggressive towards them, that is a sign that they don't know how to deal with that situation. They don't know how to solve that problem. So it stresses them. So when dogs get stressed, they have a couple of options. They can either attack that thing to scare it off or injure it or kill it to get rid of that problem, or they can run away, right? It's called fear or flight. Um, so that when they get to that options, that they whether choose to attack or run away, um, that gives us also an understanding of your dog's situation. So I want, if you could, Mariam, let me know, first of all, is aggressive towards what? Second of all, does it go forward or does it go backward? Does it go towards that thing that is aggressive towards, or does it go run away from it, or does it go behind you and hide and gets aggressive? So if you give me more information, I think I can help you a little bit more. But understanding these facts, it gives us what overall we have to do. But in general, when a dog is aggressive, what you want to do is teach it to have the ability to deal with that problem. Whatever problem it is, let's say it's aggressive towards dogs, that means is having a social skills issue, which means doesn't know how to greet another dog, doesn't know how to deal with another dog. It's like a human being uh, meeting another person and punching it right away, right? Without saying hello, how you doing, what's your name, what you doing. It starts punching right away, uh, and then says, "Oh, whoa, whoa, calm down," right? And then realizes, this is not how humans greet each other. Humans don't go to a fight right away. We usually We usually say hi, shake hands, and greet each other properly. But dogs who haven't learned and who haven't experienced social skills, they will have um, skill problems, and also they won't know how to solve that problem. So when they can't solve problems, they become a little bit uh, unpredictable. So for aggression, what I would suggest you to do, watch the following video, and learn. There is a video follow up to that video as well, that it's the solution as well. So see if those videos help and give you some ideas. But I hope you understood exactly what is going on. First of all, with your dog, the main cause of aggression is anxiety and stress, and there are many reasons that can cause a dog to become stressed and anxious. And you just have to find out what's the reason, and once you find out what the reason is, you work towards it. Let me see. Yes, Kat saying thank you very much, Saro. Appreciate it. You're very welcome. No problem. And we have Kathy Balbon. Thank you for being here, Kathy. Um, and this is a follow-up. Thanks for this interesting fact. However, he's very food motivated, and I find treats useful to distract him when in situation where there is another big dog around, or situation where which he may. Again, you brought up another good point. You mentioned food motivated. So this is the thing. Let me explain this part as well, so you could understand this concept. Um, I have a puppy who's also food motivated. What that means is when there is food present, right? My puppy, it goes blind, deaf, doesn't see or hear anything, and just focused on the food. Is that food motivated? Like it's that level, that just doesn't see anything. Like you bring food, it just pushes everybody back to get to the food. So I have a very food motivated puppy, and I have had food motivated dogs as well. So I know, and I have worked with food motivated dogs. Now, just because your dog is food motivated, it doesn't mean the food is the ideal tool to use to either distract or train a dog. Because let's say if it's food motivated and you present food, you're actually emphasizing on that food motivation. You're emphasizing even more. Like, let's say, now this is a bad example, but if a person is addicted to something, let's say addicted to Coca-Cola, right? The solution is not to produce or give this person more Coca-Cola. You're feeding that habit. You're feeding that obsession. You're feeding that uh, addiction. So a dog who's food motivated, I think food companies, and they said food motivated. They use this term as a marketing thing. Food motivated is a dog who is foodie, and when you use food to solve another problem, you're actually feeding on that obsession, that addiction. So I wouldn't use food for a dog who's food motivated per se, because the dog, as I said, my puppy, for example, when there's a food present, right, she goes blind and deaf. Now, if I in that moment, if I offer the food, my dog is focused only on food. Now, when I'm training my dog, if I want my dog to do something and I bring food, my dog is going to be focused on food, not the task that I'm asking. So, for example, you're saying it's a good tool to use to distract him when in present with another big dogs. Yes, you're distracting your dog. You're saying here food, but your dog is not learning that big dogs are safe. Big dogs are okay. Your dog is learning that big dogs equals food, right? And food is something that your dog is addicted to, right? Is dependent on, is food motivated, right? So your dog doesn't learn anything, doesn't understand the concept of big dogs equals this or that. Your dog learns that big dogs equals, if I see big dogs, I get food, right? That's all it learns. It doesn't learn that big dogs are okay or not. The main focus of a problem in the main focus and the main solution for a problem like this should be that the dog has a form of understanding of this is safe. Big dogs are safe. So you want to make sure that your dog learns that when there's a big dog, it focuses on you without having any anxiety, without having any temptation, without having salivated, without having stress, without having excitement when there is dog. That's the real solution, and that's the real way of teaching a dog that this problem is okay. In your case, it's a big dog, for example. Big dogs are the problems. In some other people's case is present of humans. In some other cases is squirrels. In some other cases is this and that. Whatever it is, if you present food at that moment, your dog doesn't learn that this thing is okay or not okay. All it learns is that when there is this thing, I get food, which is not beneficial in the long term. It's a band-aid solution. It's a solution that you can only predict that is going to happen when there is food. What happens if you don't have food? What happens if you ran out of food? What happens if your dog all of a sudden got to that level that is super anxious and stressed, just like the one we were talking before, that doesn't accept food anymore, right? But I can go on for this forever. So I hope that makes sense. So yes, food is a good distraction, but it's also a good um, addiction pro, uh, provide, a tool to get the dog to get more addicted. So in general, we have, let me finish up with this thought. In general, we have two types of dogs: food motivated, not food motivated. That's what the industry is telling us. We have two types of dogs: food motivated and not food motivated. Food motivated, for example, your dog could be a food motivated dog. Um, Beagles are food motivated. And non-food motivated, there are certain dogs who are not food motivated. That includes border collies, certain breeds, working breeds, they're not food motivated. So you have two types of dogs: food motivated and not food motivated. Food motivated one, I just talked about it. It's not that they are food motivated. It's just that they give a lot of importance to food. It doesn't mean that you have to feed on that importance. If you feed that importance, you are feeding their addiction even more, and you become a drug dealer, for example. That's all. I hope I'm making sense there. And there are dogs who are not food motivated. And why would you use food if they are not food motivated? So, in general, 90% of dogs are not food motivated. And that's, if what do you do with a dog who's not food motivated? Obviously, you use play and praise. So why don't you use play and praise with other 10% dogs that who are food, so-called food motivated? I hope that makes sense, and I hope that um, is giving you a different window of looking at that he's scared of. Especially that you're saying that your dog may get scared of for certain dogs. Kathy, I'm still talking about this topic, but I hope I'm not going forever. But especially that you're saying your dog is you may get scared of the other big dogs. When dogs get scared, they don't take food. And who was it? Thing can't remember. Yes, Kathy. Yes, it was you actually to mention that it didn't take food from the vet. When they get scared, they don't take food. What happens if your dog gets scared and doesn't take food? I have taken him on social visit, as you say. What I have found lately is going to the vets with friends, dogs. Dogs help. With a friend, dog helps. Yes, definitely you want to introduce friends and family members who have dogs, and you trust that those dogs 100%. Um, and also, one other suggestion that I have, another tip that I have, if you want to make your vet visit a little bit more pleasant and more manageable, just pretend that you're a vet. Ask your friend or family member just to pretend they are a vet, and get your dog to stand and stay and touch it and poke here, poke there, without stressing your dog, without causing it to panic and freak out, right? Just slowly, gently. Maybe you start to touch and poke your dog. I'm actually going to have video coming up very soon that I show what I do with my puppy when I get it, what I do in form of physical touches that I do with my puppy in order for my puppy to get used to in future, if it goes to the vet or the groomer, they will touch, and the stranger is going to touch. My puppy should be okay with it. So I have videos coming up, so mm, definitely look for them. Um, Naturally fly. Oh, does it? The link for aggression goes to Washdog. Um, Maybe I didn't get the proper link. Okay, so try again. I'm gonna. Hopefully, this one is going to work better. Mm, yes, this is the correct one. Sorry about that, and thank you for pointing that out. Um, Kathy saying thanks very much. I think thanks very much. Very interesting to listen to you. It makes a lot of sense, and your advice will assist me tremendously. Great. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening and being part of the channel and being a member of this channel. Hopefully, you're getting some different insights and points. Many dog trainers, they share a lot of same concept, I would say, because this is one of the things that I think we need these days. Everybody is giving you the same uh, concept in one way or another, um, one shape or another. But the the difference between my method and my channel is everybody is using treats or food to train dogs. This is the only channel. This is the only method that doesn't use treats. So in a way, I have no competition, and also I have nobody that can join me and to come and talk to me about dog training without the use of treats. All the dog trainers that I want to work with, and I want to have them as a guest, for example, on my channel to come and talk about dog training and all that, they use treats. and I know how they are, and I know how committed they are to training dogs with treats. That's because that's all they know. Like for example, um, again, I'll bring Zach George because he's a very popular and common dog trainer everybody can see. He constantly feeds his dog food and treats to get results. And what happens when you constantly feed your dog treats? That means you're constantly dependent on food and treats in order to get results. Although he is not getting results, not only that he doesn't get great results, he doesn't get results at all. Like negative results, even though he's using treats, even though he's a so-called professional dog trainer. And all these dog trainers are so committed to using treats to train dogs that you can't really change their mind. You can't really work with them because when you ask a dog trainer to train your dog, when they come to help you to train your dog, they're using treats, right? So what's the difference between them and you? Because you have to use treats too. So what's the difference between a dog trainer and a regular dog owner? For example, a teacher doesn't need to use calculator to do calculations. It knows it, right? Whereas a student needs to use calculator because they're still learning. So if a trainer is still using calculator, so-called calculator, that means they're still learning. They still don't know how dog training works. They still don't know what dog training means. They still don't know what to do and what not to do. They're doing exactly what food manufacturers have forced and pushed to the society, which is you have to buy treats to train your dogs. And we have the best treats. We have a small treat, we have big treats, we have soft treats, we have hard treats. We have treats that you can chop it up to million pieces, then you give to your dog. We have treats that taste like gold. We have treats that taste like this. We have treats that will make your dog to do anything that you want. All these is marketing. It's not prone to give you real results because you are focusing on the wrong thing. You're focusing on treats, a gadget, a concept, an idea, a thing that you hope is going to work and get results and give you that option to get results from your dog. It's not um, it's not the real way or real tool of dog training. The real tool of dog training, and I'm going to end the show with this message. The real tool of training a dog is you. And the real goal of training a dog is to have a dog who 100% trusts you and relies on you, and you depend and you are committed to that dog 100%. If you want that, if you want to get result as such as having a dog who is 100% committed to you, you have to dedicate 100% to your dog without relying on tools like shock collars, prong collars, choke chain collars, force, domination, or even treats. Even treats and clickers make you depend on something, makes you to feel obligated to use those in order to get results. As human beings, we think we are the smartest animals in this planet, and yet we don't know how to deal with a dog. When it comes to dogs, we go clueless because, again, we're focusing on the wrong thing. We have to focus on the whole entire concept of owning a dog. What dog really means to you? What does a dog mean to you? Leave your thoughts in the chat area. Let me know, what does your dog mean to you? Why do you have a dog? If you if you say that it's because, I know the answer, because you want a relationship that your husband, your wife, your friends don't give. It's a relationship that you want from your dog. And that relationship cannot be bought by treats, by food, by giving the most expensive treat to your dog. You can't buy love from an animal with treats. Even though your dog has problems, issues, behavioral issues, you cannot solve that problem. You cannot help that dog if you don't look at the real main thing, which is to build a healthier relationship. And the only way that you can build a healthy relationship with your dog is to be real and committed to spend hundreds, thousands of hours with your dog. Not many dog owners do that. Not many dog owners, they spend time with their dog. They just don't sit with their dog for nothing. There has to be something. I have to give treats to my dog in order for my dog to pay attention to me. That's not a healthy relationship. You won't get that relationship from your dog if you're depending on such a solution. And many dog owners and many dog trainers, that's what they do. They come and show you, here's what, let me, oh, you can't get your dog to sit or stay? Let me show you how it's done. Bring the treats, they get the most expensive, most stinkiest treat in the world, and they do it and they show it to you, and they say, I'm a dog trainer. And you say, wow, what a great dog trainer. It made my dog to sit and stay. All this time I couldn't do it, and he or she did it. That's not dog training. Dogs will do anything for food, obviously. They will, they will climb the mountain if you want them, uh, if you offer them treats. But it doesn't mean that they will listen to you when you don't have treats. Treats has to be presented only when you have a good trained dog. That's when you use treats. If you have an untrained dog, you don't use treats because then you're depending on treats to get results. Then that's when you're saying, you know what, I have no clue, I have no idea what I'm doing, and all I know is use treats because that's what everybody tells me, that's what the manufacturers they'll tell me, that's what the companies they tell me, that's what the trainers tell me. So I'm the only dog trainer in the world, I think. I haven't found many others. There are a couple of other dog trainers who don't use treats, but they probably use force or domination or gadgets, things like that. But I'm the only one that uses play and praise as a reward system, not only to train your dog the basics, but also to get rid of all those unwanted bad behaviors. And that's what you're going to get on my channel. If you subscribe and become a member of this channel, you will get the secret and ideology and the techniques and all the details that you need to learn how to accomplish this task of owning a dog and build a healthy relationship with your dog that is not only priceless, it's 100% reliable. With treats, you don't have 100% reliability. With my system, you have 100% reliability. And I have proof on my channel. I have worked, I've filmed and showed my own beagles that can be off leash anywhere. I've shown you videos, shown you how I touched, taught them all these techniques and training. And I'm working on my current puppy, beagle puppy Annie, and you're seeing our journey. And you can see as in the future videos as well how I use my training system, Play and Praise, to train her. And you can learn from it and become an educated dog lover. I hope you enjoyed this live session. I had lots of fun. I love to talk about dogs. Let's talk about dogs every week. Before I leave, I have to ask you two questions. Question one is, what is the reason you have a dog? Don't forget to answer that question. Two, when is the best time for me to go live and for you to be able to attend the live session. Tell me the day and time that is ideal for you. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this live session. I hope you benefited something out of this live session. And if you have any follow-up questions or you have any questions, leave those questions in the comments area. I read them all. I answer them all personally. And I love being interacting with my members and my community. And until next time, have fun with your dog.